Hey, how's it going? Just Moz Plz. Today, got a video for you. Tier 7 Soviet destroyer, the Tashkent. I played a lot of this line, and then once I got to the Tashkent, despite how good it may be, I just kind of stopped playing it a lot for whatever reason. So, basically, just kind of jump back into it. After this game, I'm about to show you, I went and got the hull upgrade. So, the gameplay, I don't have it, but regardless, we still kind of did our thing. So we're running Trubetskoy with Soundwave, Mordov, the normal stuff. The only difference between this and the Khabarovsk build I have is, I take Twist and Track. So we got a game on Trap. I'm up against a mirror match against another Tashkent, and they happen to be in a division as well. So I was not necessarily worried, but I was cautious about this game. So I'm picked up on Twist and Track. He likely has the same exact build as I do. It's one destroyer on each team. Our job is to stay alive as long as possible because we will be focused very aggressively because we are the only destroyer. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse that I was mirror matched against the Tashkent, but both of our concealment is pretty horrendous for a destroyer, but needless to say, better than that of cruisers or battleships. The beginning, I wasn't sure if I wanted to push into B. I obviously picked him up on my Twist and Track 2, and I elected, because of the direction that the ships were heading, the people that spawned with me were going to C, and the people on my left were obviously all going to A. I felt like if I were to push into B, it'd be a worthless push. I would end up dying. No one was going to be there to support me. So I make my way over to A from my starting position. And just kind of picking up spots as I go. Obviously I'm not going to be shooting. I don't want to get spotted for as long as possible because we got quite a trek to make over from B to C. But I figured we locked down this objective. Maybe the Tashkent on the other team would push over to me and I could fight him at that point. Because that's really what I was cognizant of. And not only is it another Tashkent, but they're in a division. So they're likely going to be working together big time. And a good division is obviously highly advantageous for whatever team it's on. Likewise, a very bad division is quite detrimental to whatever team they're on. So, it remained to be seen whether they were competent or not, but like I said, cautious nonetheless. So we're picking up all the spots. He's asking for support. He wants a smoke screen. I pop it. I wanted to hold that for a little bit longer until I got into the objective, but I pop it for him, and we move on into A. Now, on the far right, 8.8, 8.7 kilometers on my right, I really wish I would have paid more attention to what that was, that battleship. That's a Zietten. And, not only heavy secondary weapons, but long-range sonar is on the way over here. So we post up in this position. I felt like, much to my ignorance, I felt safe. I felt like, all right, we'll get this cap, no problem. This will kind of repulse their attack. They don't have a destroyer over here. We'll be all right. I pop smoke and I'm staying in it because I felt like there's no way that the pressing important targets would not be spotted regardless by the battleships behind me. And, the torps I threw out managed to get that Iowa, but we're detected. It's the Zietten, and I mean 1 second left on the cap, and I'm hit, and it drains my points. They got me dead to right here, big time dead to right. I need to get the heck out. That's a Flint in the smoke that is hosing me down. Georgia, the Zietten, we need to bail. And frankly, it was miraculous that I did not die there. We're still taking shots from that flank. But fortunately enough, I managed to get behind this island. So now that we have a moment of sanctuary, I'm taking stock of the situation. 2 battleships, the cruisers in the back. I was unsure of what the cruiser was doing, but maybe he saw the inevitable collapse of this flank before I did. I was hoping that these battleships would help me take care of this Yeti. I pop out a little too far in the secondaries. I mean, just absolutely tear me to pieces. For anybody that says the secondary builds aren't viable, sure, they're not crazy good against other battleships and stuff, but for a destroyer in range of a battle cruiser's secondaries, it's so detrimental. It's such a good way to punish destroyers that are too close and that make mistakes like I did. So we're already down the battleship over here. This other one's also not long for the world, and I decide to make my way over to this cruiser. Now, despite his very passive play here, it might have actually been the right play. As a matter of fact, I'm certain it was, because the battleships proved to be of little use, to be honest with you. But this cruiser actually goes on to make some very, very clutch plays in this game. And from this point forward, actually from the point where I was spotted in the cap, truthfully, that's where the rest of this game I'm kind of playing on the back foot, to be honest with you. So this is not a crazy high damage game by any stretch of the imagination. This is a down to the wire game, and I felt like the reason why I wanted to post it was because I felt like we were honestly fighting back from like such a vulnerable position, and the way that it panned out, we didn't really leave anything on the table. Now, sure, there might have been plenty of mistakes that I made, but you'll see. I don't want to just spoil it. So we're back here. I'm deathly afraid of this Yeti because I feel like that's definitely that player is better than average at the game, for one, and for two, that build has been seriously punishing me pretty much the entire time we've been playing, and that he's come into contact with me. So we're back here. I fired at this Yeti before we rounded the corner just to try to get a fire started. That's definitely one of the things that you can use against the German ships is the limited number of repair and heals that they do have. So I take a lot of opportunities to try to do that. Now, I was 100% expecting them to go around the right side of that island, but they actually don't end up doing that. Yeti circles back around. The cruiser on my left had been requesting spotting, but I was obviously in no position to spot. I don't know why he couldn't understand that, but thankfully he put up his plane, and I was in a position to, once that was done, I can pop smoke without losing this Yeti, or without consistently losing this Yeti. In the smoke, I'm firing HE, I get a fire lit, but this is why I say he's definitely a better player. This division I was playing against was better than the average player for sure, because this dude was reliably hitting me with at least 1 or 2 shells in every salvo he took in the smoke. And it made me think twice about just kind of sitting still and shooting at him. But fortunately enough, I'm burning him down as he draws closer to that island. He makes an error here, and he drives into the island. And this is pretty much the beginning of the end for him. Now, on the other side of the map, they still haven't capped C, so it's not looking great. It's just me and this cruiser over here on the left. We're, again, fighting from this position of almost demise. There's a flint in front of him that was spotted by me for a brief moment a couple minutes ago, so he's aware of that. I know that basically I can't push out and get back to the objective until the flint and the Yeti are dead, because I'm one good salvo away from port. It's a York. He's moving closer to that island. I feel pretty confident that this Yeti is going to be gone here. He's focusing more on the cruiser than me, but I don't stop the relentless HE, and there's clutch play number 1 by this guy. He torps the flint the moment he sees him. Not going to quite be able to do it to this Yeti, but it's fine. We at least kind of can establish an area to strike back from once we get this guy gone, because This dude was my nightmare. I mean, look at that secondary. And it'd be one thing if nothing hit me, but I mean, he's consistently whittling my health down. So now I'm operating with about 2,000 HP. We have one cruiser, one battleship left outside of the two of us. I felt pretty confident in this guy. It's very rare that you, feel confident in some of your blue teammates. But he had the same idea as me. Now we can cap A, push in, and deal with them at B. They only have 3 ships left. We have 4. I was hopeful that the team over at C would be able to hold while we sort of regain some momentum from down here. We have one of the players in the divisions dead. That's Yedin. So the other ones is the Tashkent and the Georgia, both of which are still alive at this point. And I do feel like that, if there's time left on the clock, capping is never a bad idea, because it could turn into one of those situations where ships are running away, engagements are a lot less likely to actually happen, and then you rely on the point differential to, base the outcome of the game on. As stupid and as painful as those situations are, anything that you can do to kind of tilt the odds in your favor, the better. So by capping A, which of course we would, we're driving through it to engage them, we're able to at least put the points per second in our favor again. So Georgia, Tashkent, both kind of in the center. There's an owl something closing into the center of the map. I take the opportunities to, while I have no risk of being spotted, to lob shells at the Georgia, try to start a fire. There's the owl, New Jersey. My main concern was basically getting into a position to do 2 things: assist the battleship that's now fighting the Georgia, and provide targets for the York behind me. So Tashkent's there, Georgia's there. Georgia's got low health. I'm an idiot. I drive straight into the sandbar. Kind of mess up how quickly I could get in position and spot these guys for the York. Our battleship goes down. I mean, who knows though? If I did not hit that, maybe things would have panned out a little different. Got to get myself situated again. I definitely wasn't gonna go around the right of the bigger island, but I wanted to at least get here because it's a straight line of sight on this side of the center island at B. Dude saying he needs me to go cap. And I mean, that's just absolutely preposterous to even say that. I have 2,000 health. We have the cap point advantage. I'm not pushing in there to get spotted. We're playing on the back foot. Wait for the spot. There's the Georgia. I was hesitant to go ahead and start shooting because I wasn't sure if the island was high enough to kind of obscure his vision of me. But once he does get him... with a salvo, I elect to go ahead and shoot as well. Tashkent responds because he's right there. I was hoping my torps would hit him. They don't. He lands a shot that doesn't really do any damage, but it does knock out my torps. I was pretty thankful of that. I push up a little too far just because I started getting nailed by the Tashkent. I break visibility with them. He still spotted the Tashkent. So I decide to obviously throw her in reverse quick as I can. And again, this island, I misjudged how high it was. It was kind of hard to tell, but my guns are hitting the top of it, so that salvo didn't hit. But he bum rushes the cruiser. We're here to pick up the pieces. Another clutch torp on the Georgia, and we pop out on the Tashkent like Marky Mark at the end of The Departed, and this dude couldn't do anything. Disabled his front turret, can't shoot back at me. He's trying to wheel it around to respond. Too late. Dumped him. Grabbed the dub. I mean, that game was so clutch. Again, I by no stretch of the imagination feel like I did the best that I've done. Obviously, that guy got 3,500 XP that game, whereas I did not. But hell of a game regardless. Hell of an ending. Shout out Camdino19. And that's all I got today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely appreciate you checking it out. Appreciate you checking out the channel. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.